Hey guys, Julian Lalo here and welcome back to my channel for a super quick tutorial on my 4 favorite Lightroom tools for food photography. So jumping straight in with the first tool, and that is the graduated filter. So what you can see with this image that I have up on the screen here is that the light was obviously coming in from the right hand side, and the right hand side is actually a little bit blown out, the highlights, you can't see the detail on the menu. So before I would start editing this image, so this is a raw image, I'll just grab the graduated filter up here, slide it in from the right hand side over that blown out section, and just drop the exposure a fraction, maybe drop the highlights just a little bit, and there you have it. You've just evened out the photo, so it's a nice even exposure across the whole image so that then you can start your edit from that. So that's before and after. Nice and simple. Jumping straight into the next one, and this is the sharpening mask. So this image that I have up on the screen now is actually edited, so this is how to grade, but what I want to do is bring a little bit more detail out in the burger here. So you've all probably used a sharpening tool before, but what will happen is if I slide the sharpening slider up, it's going to sharpen the whole image, and that's going to bring a lot of grain into the image and sharpen parts of the image that I don't necessarily want sharpened, or that aren't going to have that effect by giving the detail or that burger in the image a nice pop. So what I do is by holding down Option and sliding masking over, you can see that there everything in white is what's going to be sharpened. So including the grains in the marble and all the details in the hand, which I don't need. Slide it right across until the burger and some of the other nicer details are in white. Then all you need to do is put up the sharpening slider, and that has just taken effect on the burger and some of the little details like the chips and the outline of the hands. Okay, so tool number 3 is the radial filter. So what you can see with this image I've got up on the screen at the moment, it's had an edit, but the one thing I don't like is the fact that this bowl here on the right hand side is just a little bit darker than the rest of the image. I think if I pumped it up a little bit more, you'd see a little bit more balance and a little bit more detail in the dish itself. So what I'm going to do is grab the radial filter up the top here, draw a circle which is the same size as the bowl, and come down here and click invert so that it's now acting on everything inside the bowl. So you can see by hovering over it, it's gone pink. That is the area that we're going to be working on. So all I'm going to do is increase the exposure just a fraction, bring up some shadows to get a bit more detail in it, and probably put a little bit more contrast and drop some blacks a little bit, and hit enter to activate it. And that is now, to me, a nice even image where all the dishes kind of have a nice balance to them in terms of exposure and detail. So there's your before and after. Nice and simple. Moving on to my last tool, the clone tool. So now you can see this also has had an edit, but you can see there's lots of spots of coffee around the cup and on one on the saucer that I think if we got rid of would just finish it off nicely. So we grab the clone tool up the top here, this little circle with the arrow on it. I like to zoom in when I do this, and just click on all the little spots that we want to get rid of. So you just want to make the clone tool, the little circle, as small as possible to fit in the dot that you're trying to get rid of or the mark that you're trying to get rid of, and you just click on it. It will select an area that it feels is the same color. If you don't think that that area is the same color, you can just grab the selected part and move it around to somewhere you think more appropriate. So just zooming back out, I can see a little mark on the menu up here, so I'd even get rid of that. And even if you want to be pedantic, could get rid of this little chip in the table. It's pretty good. And when you zoom out, there's the before, so you can see all the marks around the cup, the saucer, this little one on the menu here and down on the table, and there's after. Just cleans it up and adds that little bit of polish to the image. So that's it, really nice and simple. 4 tools or tips using Lightroom to really level up your food photography. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit like, help me out with a subscribe, and as always, thank you for pressing play.